Hello, and thanks for joining today. Um, if you can fast forward there we go, lovely. So look, this is the encapsulation of MicroX. We're a technology company engaged in both medical devices and security products. We're all about X-rays. We've created a new technology in X-ray. It's the first time ever that anyone's made an X-ray tube without a heated filament. There's a lot of giant companies all over the world been trying to do this, called cathode technology, it's called. We actually got there first. Why is that important? Because in our first product, here's an illustration. What you see on the left there is a normal X-ray tube, a giant thing, 29 kilograms. Ours is 1.5, about the size of a grapefruit. And obviously, if the X-ray tube is smaller, then the kind of equipments that you can design from that are also smaller. And there's another big advantage in that they're electronically controllable. So if we look at the next slide, that's basically, we are the first mover globally in this technology. How do we monetize that advantage? We're going for an early commercial domination. Basically, the more of the low-hanging fruit that we get into production and generating revenue for us, the better. We're a sort of a classic old-fashioned company that designs things and makes them here in Adelaide, and we're our business model is to sell these highly differentiated products internationally into these both medical and security markets. The low-hanging fruit is the ones, basically the opportunities that we've and we've looked at a lot, but the ones we've selected are the ones that give the best, value add to the customer at the highest margins, and grabbing those first. We know that there will be other people who will try to follow us, but if we've got 4 products generating revenue for us, we'll just be ahead of the pack. We want to commercialize high in the value chain. You don't make a fortune from selling X-ray tubes. You make a fortune from selling at a much higher price overall X-ray imaging systems that use the technology that only you have, and obviously then scaling that with paths to market is in the sales sense is really important. So platform technology, and we're concentrating now on 4 products. We look at the next slide. We're already in the market with our mobile bedside radiography used in hospitals. Hit the market there in 2018. We've got around 250 systems in operation around the world in close to 30 countries now. It's showing to be very reliable. We had a great year last year because of COVID, because frankly, mobile X-rays were a bit like toilet paper last year. Everybody wanted to get hold of them. So we got a lot of market access, and we're pleased this year that a lot of those markets are coming back, having discovered how good our product is. It's coming back for more. Next year, our next product is a security product in imaging IEDs. I'll talk a little bit more about that, and then the 2 more products in airport security in 2023 is likely first sales, and an ambulance stroke imager for basically a motionless, ultra lightweight, ultra small CT scanner, 2026. Giant addressable markets, as you can see in all of those products. That's what I mean about the low hanging fruit, and a sequence of introductions over the next 5 years. If we can go to the next slide. We'll just go through those in a bit more detail. This is the product that's in the market. Picture of it being used in the Alfred in Melbourne, and bedside imaging's been involved, around for a long time. We've got an offering here which is 95 kilograms instead of 600 kilograms, so it's smaller, more nimble, easier to get into crowded ICU wards. As we discovered in COVID, easy to disinfect, and customers are loving it. So it's we're in use all around the world, and a big market. We're developing. We hit the market originally with an exclusive distribution contract with Carestream, That's now non-exclusive, and we're in the process of setting up a number of different distribution paths to market in Europe and globally for that. So next slide, please. There's a variant of that in the military world. The military, most military forces deploy mobile hospitals, basically tented hospital facilities. And of course, if the top of the line 600 kilogram X-rays are just not an option in a tented hospital. So we've got this market pretty much to ourselves. Got some funding originally from the Australian Army to develop the unit, and now we're under contract to the Australian Army to supply production units for a new hospital, and we're making some good progress with the US Army, who have some fairly giant deployable hospital facilities, also allied with their Veterans Affairs Hospital network, which is could be a good market. So we're setting off on that one, looking quite nicely. We're selling this in the Rover, as we call it, is our own proprietary product. We're not OEMing it, so we're taking our X-ray and detector and software to customers. So moving on, then the next slide also started from a contract from the Defence Force in Canberra. X-ray is used by bomb disposal technicians to try and find out if a backpack really is a bomb, and if it is a bomb, how does it work? So how can you defuse it? The traditional X-rays that you can buy today to do this task, unfortunately, need somebody in the bomb suit to go in with an X-ray and a detector behind it, and to get the X-ray image to work out what's inside and how to deal with it. What they wanted was basically Superman vision, a camera-like device that could just look at the backpack with X-ray vision and see what's inside without the need for a separate detector. We got $2.5 million from the Australian Defence Force to develop this, proved that it can work beautifully. This is an example of a typical situation where you can't get a detector behind and conventional technology doesn't work. And of course, the nice thing is this is all unmanned. So the bomb disposal technician can do this from the safety of a kilometer away. We've shown that we can get very high resolution imaging. We can resolve down to about 300 microns. There's a little image there you can see of the initiation circuit of a typical improvised explosive device. We're actually exhibiting the latest version of this in its design concept at an Army exhibition in Brisbane next week, but getting huge interest around the world, particularly the UK, who's going out to buy some X-ray technology next year. Also a lot of interest from the US. Huge market, because I mean, even in the US, there's over 500 bomb disposal teams run by police forces across the country, just for urban counterterrorism and bomb disposal. And of course, there's no price pressure because nobody else can do this. We can set the price. We don't have to take it. And of course, the safety that we provide for bomb technicians is a pretty easy sell. So moving on to our third product. This news broke back last October. Based on some work we were doing with the British government, we were selected there for a contract looking at how our technology could basically find explosives hidden in electronic items, particularly laptops. You might remember a few years ago there was a scare where they were threatening to not let laptops be carried onto airplanes because they couldn't guarantee that there wasn't explosives hidden in it. We showed that our technology can find that, even 50 grams of explosive very easily. And that led the Transportation Safety Administration in the US to realize that the miniature scanner that we were developing for the British government was something that would enable their dream to come apart, which is a total self-service checkpoint. So self-service obviously is the trend in airports. You know how passport control and identity recognition has gone self-service in the last years. The idea is to extend that now to body scanning and carry-on luggage scanning. Our miniaturized scanner allows that to happen for the first time. So we tendered to the TSA last year and were selected. A huge honor and a testament to where this technology is. So we've got 2 contracts. We're just negotiating. We'll probably sign it within the next few weeks with the Department of Homeland Security. One of them is to develop the full prototype of the miniature baggage scanner. But the other, which is even more exciting, talking about moving up the value chain, is they're giving us a contract to design the overall portal. In other words, to integrate the X-ray with body scanning, with document scanning and identity recognition with photometric ID. So we're investing heavily to make sure that we do this contract in a outstanding way, because if we deliver well on this job for the TSA, we're in pole position basically to design and provide this whole new generation of airport checkpoint security for not only America but the rest of the world, because America tends to set the standard there. So the next slide, another big recent breaking news. We won $8 million in funding from the Medical Research Future Fund for a new concept, which is basically a motionless CT. Most CT machines involve an X-ray tube and a detector spinning round and round a patient at about 200 revs per minute. Quite difficult to do, which is why a CT machine costs about $1 million. We can miniaturize that and do it for about 1/10 of the price with no moving parts. And the big advantage in stroke imaging here is in stroke imaging, time is brain. You're losing millions of brain cells every minute than when a stroke goes untreated. In Melbourne, they've proven with a mobile stroke unit, a big conventional CT in the back of a truck, that if you can get to the patient at pickup, image them to determine which kind of stroke they've got, then you can start treatment at the point of care, and that's saving lives and saving injury. And it looks there are now mobile stroke units, about 33 of them operating around the world. So we won this contract to develop and turn this into reality, something we can, 2 years from now, we'll have a device that we can safely image patients and start looking at integration into ambulances. It's light enough. This thing is going to be 40 or 50 kilos. We could probably put it in air ambulances as well, which is kind of good for stroke victims in the outback. A really, really exciting product, this, because a huge market, because there's a lot of ambulances, and stroke is one of the big killers. And the disability from a stroke, which is not treated soon enough within the golden hour, can cost a healthcare system $150,000 per patient per year. So the economics of this are fairly exemplary. So that's our 4th product that we're looking at on the next slide. All our work at the moment is it's all designed, developed, and manufactured in Adelaide. We have a US subsidiary which we're building up as a center of excellence in software and image reconstruction, and we will base our project management for the United States Department of Homeland Security out of our Seattle office. But all this technology owned, controlled, and manufactured in Adelaide. And so lots of news flow coming as we're working on all 4 of these products. Some highlights here. We're producing a 2nd generation of our bedside imager, which has got 4 times more energy, 4 times as much X-ray energy as the first model, and we'll be taking that to market later this year. Our IED camera will be doing customer demos by Christmas and will be on sale next year. And a year from now, we'll be getting some first images on our brain tomography. So very, very exciting future, very, very busy. We did a capital raise a few months ago, which is to fund this big expansion. And we're getting down to a period of some very, very hard work now, just delivering on all of these products. And I'll leave it there and ask you for some questions, please.
Peter, a great presentation. And as I said at the beginning, the purpose of these webinars is to find hidden gems. And, I think we've done that in spades this week. And MicroX is certainly a hidden gem on the ASX, and hopefully not for much longer as you deliver on those results and keep taking this amazing Australian technology out to the world with a significant addressable market and a significant opportunity to grow the business through revenues and product suites. So hats off, Peter, to you and the team. A couple of questions have come through. How small can you make your technology, and how does the resolution compare to other products in the market?
We can miniaturize, and we're looking at this. Trust me, lots of people ask this. The next generation of X-ray tube, which will power the CT scanner and the checkpoint, we've already designed it. We'll be building it in coming months. The X-ray tube is it's about the size of 2 golf balls, if you can imagine 2 golf balls standing together. That's down from the size of a grapefruit. So that is quite small. The limiting factor here is actually the high voltage electronics. There's a few laws of physics that we have to change before we can shrink the electronics to power it. But the resolution, you're not in business unless you can do better than the current. Nobody wants to give up resolution. So everything that we do, the resolution is as good or better than current technology. We're just doing it in a smaller package and in a clever way to deliver, in some cases, 3-dimensional imaging as well.
And have you thought about licensing the tech into product suites that you aren't looking to even enter into, but clearly there may be a commercial demand for a license scenario?
Yeah, we have actually, there is one company in Europe that's approached us about doing that, and they specialize in X-ray in non-destructive testing. So we are pursuing those discussions.
And I've got a very technical question, so I apologise, given I'm not a technical person. Can you talk about the stability of yields for your X-ray tubes and the scalability of your production?
We've worked hard on that. The pictures I showed you there of in fact the one that you're looking at right now on the screen is a purpose-built vacuum tube facility that we set up in Adelaide. Having learnt in many occasions the hard way of what happens if you don't get your cleanliness or your outgassing technology good enough, we've really worked to on that to make sure it's as good as it can be. We're running at 100% yield now, and have been for about the last 6 or 7 straight months. So that says our quality is exactly where we need it. The stability of this new technology is really quite amazing. We talk about the hot filament of the old technology. It's a bit like light bulbs. We're the LED that's going to replace the hot filament of the old-fashioned light bulbs, and we get that kind of long life because there is no heat to degrade the inside of the tube. Look, when we are doing life testing to confirm the life of our tubes. It's currently 5 years we've proven to get to market. it'll take us a little while to prove some longer, but I'm kind of hoping that within a year or two, we'll be able to offer a lifetime warranty on tubes inside our medical products. And that's a big big statement of confidence for a new technology, particularly in a very conservative marketplace, which radiology is.